All right. All right, let's get this started. So I'm going to do Microsoft, Affirm, Facebook, and MU. And before we get started, let's go see the longer time frame of QQQ and SPX or SPY actually. Let's see what we're up against. Where's my, there we go. All right, so QQQ on the daily. What happened? We broke below the 50 EMA. That's never good, right? So now we have this support here. So 377.36. Right now we're at 376.58 after hours. So this is kind of our last line of defense before we can go to 369, right? We bounced here, pushed up. This was a support. We broke down, right, to 369.2. It was a support here. So tomorrow to regain control, we have to hold this 377.36. If not, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to load up on some puts. If we break below 369.2, the next target for me is the 200 EMA. Jesus. But yeah, I mean, as simple as that. We're gonna go to a shorter time frame. Elkin's gonna do QQQ, but I just wanted to check out the daily time frame and see where we are at. So we are not that bullish on tech, right? Especially if they keep saying that they're going to raise interest rates 4 to 5 times now. Like literally they're going to raise the interest rates 4 to 5 times. So again, 377.36 below that, we got some more downside, that's for sure. So a lot of selling today, obviously. So again, our resistance is going to be that 50 EMA. I mean, we're $11 below it. 50 EMA is saying 388.86. The 8 EMA is at 385. The 21 EMA is at 389. So you're below those moving averages. So let's go to SPY. All right. Remember we talked about last watch list that we tagged every single 50 EMA, right? All here, 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 and here. Will history repeat itself? We will find out, right? So if we break below, right, if we got 462, we have support here, bounce here, held here. So 456 next. As much as I don't want to go lower, you know, we could maybe see 450. Okay. So we are in some turbulent times, but again, you know, when there's a market trend, you know, it's kind of easy to play, right? So, I mean, and then what do we got? So right now it's 464. We've got some resistances here, right? So that 470 is always the hardest resistance, right? We multiple times that we've been stuck, right? And we finally broke through before the end of the year, hit 479. So that 470 resistance, 470 resistance is going to be a very important if we want to go higher. All right. So now that we have a kind of an idea of where SPY and QQQ is, let's go to our quick trades. Where the hell? There we go. Zoom watch list session. Okay, so we are doing Affirm, Microsoft, Facebook, and I literally blanked out on the last one. What was I doing? 15
MU.
Ah, yes, MU. Thank you. Okay, so what do we got here? Let's do Affirm first. So obviously, you know, every stock is going to look like this, right? So major downside. So what am I looking at here? So we do have a low of 71.7 on Monday, right? So that was the low on Monday. So obviously, if we break the low of day on Monday, look for more downside. So 71.7 is going to be our support, we do have some resistance here at 73.71, but that is too tight of a resistance. It's going to probably move above that level quickly. So what are we going to do here? The firm does move pretty well. So if I go to expected move on Friday, is around $3.05. So what we can do here, actually there was support here, but I wanted to get a better level. We can do opening price on Monday, right? That's 77.54, but that's kind of too far. So let me see what we can. I think this is good. 75.23. So there's resistances here, right? So there's multiple resistances here. It broke through. So what we're going to do, resistance here, push through, but not enough power, right? And then test it below. So we're going to do 75.23 as a resistance for a firm. So below 71.7 for puts and above 75.23 for calls. Now, how would you play it, right? So when I gave these levels, or Elkin gives these levels, what strike, you pick, right? Again, the closer it is to the underlying, the higher the delta is. Like if you're going for a firm calls, don't get an 80 call, don't get an 81 call, right? If a firm's at 73, maybe you get a 74 strike or in the money, right? As close as you can or in the money as you can, get that strike. All right, so that is a firm. So Microsoft. Okay, well, Microsoft is the lowest of this week. So if we go to a third 10-day, Jesus Christ, wow. We are low Microsoft. Okay, well, that's okay. So below 304, we're just going to use low of day, and that was today. 304 is going to be pretty massive. Below 304, I mean, probably the psychological level of 300 is next. So we are going to use that as a support. We can use, again, opening price on Monday, which is around 309, but we're not going to use that. We're going to use this resistance right here, right? So the first time it hit this resistance, it rejected, pushed down. Once it tried this resistance, it ended up pushing up. So what we're going to do is 309.02 is going to be our resistance. So, we can do targets as well, right? So for a firm, we can do it quickly. So this would be a target, right? Because it did push up, but then it shot back down. So our first target, if it breaks below, or if it breaks above 75.23, see if it can break above 76.71. And I'm going to change this color to green. Okay, so 76.71, and then you have some resistance here at 77.84. So that's if it could break the 76.71. Now, if it breaks below 71.7, I mean, there's no target. I mean, it's just going to go lower. Don't worry about that. But for the upside, you can definitely have some price targets. So same with Microsoft, above 309.02. If it breaks this resistance right here, right? That was, it got rejected. That's going to be your first price target to trim or just get out into full position, right? And then again, if it breaks below the support, I mean, as a matter of fact, if it holds this for pre-market, it could be lower. But anyway, if it stays in this price, look for 309.02 as your first resistance, at 311 as your target. Below 304, again, no target. It's probably going to hit 300 at that rate. All right, so MU. So what do we see here? We got some support here at 94.91. As you can see, it's tested it multiple times, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 is almost tested 4 times. We do have this massive wick around 96.27, but what I'm going to use is this opening gap price at 96.49 as a resistance for calls. Okay, so pushed up higher, it held support multiple times, pushed up, it held, but finally it broke down. So if we break above 96.49, we do have a small resistance. And MU doesn't move, or let's see MU. It's gonna MU has a $2 expected move. So we're gonna use 96.93 as the first target. If I could break 96.93 with volume right here, it's gonna be our next target. Okay. Now let's our support. So yeah, so 94.89 is gonna be our entry for puts. If it breaks below 94.89, we can see 93.77. So this is where at around 8 a.m. on Wednesday. So 93.77 where it held that support, ended up pushing higher. So we're gonna use that as a target. You guys have any questions so far?
Are you checking this on daily time frame, right?
This is on a 5-day, 15-minute chart.
Okay.
Yeah, so usually what we're gonna do, because I think we're gonna maybe most likely do this 2 times a week. I don't know, Elkin might have a whole nother schedule, but we might do it Sunday or Monday night, one of those. On one of those days, we'll do it a longer time frame, right? So we have an idea of the whole week, right? Of how, where these stocks could go throughout the week.
Okay.
But for Friday's 0 DTE, we just want to, a 5-day, 15-minute chart, just quick in and out trades because we're not swinging anything. But yeah, good question. We're on the 5-day, 15-minute chart.
Thank you.
Good question. All right, and then Facebook. Okay, so Facebook, what do we got? So we did end off at 326.48, whereas support, that's multiple times, that bounced multiple times. So right here, it's a good spot. So 325, give or take, is a good put area to enter for call, or I'm sorry, for puts. So this is gonna be our support. We do have some resistance here at 330, right? So it's rejected multiple times right here. So we can use that as a resistance plus, as you can see here, it's tested it as a previous support as well. So one bounce here, 1, 2 bounce, it kind of bounced here as well. So we're gonna use above 330.5 for calls. And then so we can use this resistance as a place where you can trim if it has enough volume. So we can use that as our first target, so around 332. Okay, and then, maybe 333, you can get up higher. So above 330.5, look for 332.1. And then below 325.04, where could this go? We do have some resistance here that should push down. If QQQ is weak, well, 321.8 could come into play, right? So if it breaks this support, we have all this space to fill out, right? And then obviously below 321.8, I mean, say goodnight. Say good night. Any questions? So those are the 4 I'm seeing: Affirm, Microsoft, MU, and Facebook.
So basically, there is no reversal sign showing right now, right?
Oh, I mean, based on QQQ, well, again, it really depends on tomorrow morning how we open,
Correct. Yeah.
right? You know, right now, today's close was rough, right? Luckily, we didn't buy any calls or anything, you know, at like 11 a.m., 10:30 a.m., because those obviously would have been destroyed. But again, you know, we have these levels, right? So if we hold these, you know, supports, that's what we're gonna be looking for, right? So that's another you know, way to
What if
trade, right? You know, you don't have to wait for the resistance to break, you know, to enter calls, right? If you want to take the risk, but always have, you know, QQQ. If you're playing, you know, Facebook for example, right? You know, you're gonna, you know, play Facebook. And if you're trying to play the bounce rather than, you know, a breakout, right? Or I'm sorry,
Mhm.
a reversal rather than a breakout, right? And that's what we've been doing. I think for the last week, I've been playing more reversals than breakouts. I haven't been too successful with a breakout. Um, it's higher risk, but if QQQ starts reversing, right, you'd expect Facebook to reverse as well. So you can use this support as a potential reversal to play calls rather than, you know, if it breaks this resistance, you know, play the calls to the upside as well.
got
It just depends on your risk tolerance at that point.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Elkin, do you want to?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. Let me. How do I end my screen? I'll stop share.
All right, you guys let me know if you can see my screen
Yeah, we can see it.
and
Well, I
hear
can
me
see it.
fine.
You sound great.
Okay, cool. I'm going to do QQQ, SPY, Tesla, and TSM. Those are the fours I'm going to watch tomorrow. Maybe Boeing too. Okay, well, I have here QQQ in the 1 year Monday chart. It's a little thing I want to point. We are on an uptrend still. You guys see, I draw this line here, and yes, we do drop, but overall, look that the lows are usually higher, except for this 369 that we did the other day. That one was rough. So possibly we can have a very tough market between these channels. So I would say somewhere in between the all-time high, maybe, you know what, let's get rid of this one. Let's use something better, like I would honestly go for this one. If you want me to ask, if you want to ask me which channel, 40253, let's do, choose 404, 40454. And so that low was eventually an all resistance, 369. So, I mean, this is 30 points that can be very, very annoying on QQQ and possibly a market. Between that 369 level and that 404, we can still be like, well, not fully bearish, not fully bullish. Like we can have a day like yesterday where we go up and everybody say, "Oh, nice, we're back. PQQ is gonna make a new all-time high," and then it drops 10 points. So could be a very tough channel to play, but we can still do it. Something I want to point out here is that as you see, the red one is a 200 EMA. Then we have the 50 EMA. It's very close to the 21. So the 21 is the yellow and the 50 is the orange. We have the blue, which already passed both of them below. So this is the first bearish sign. Once the 8 crosses below the 21 and then the 50, that's not a good sign. It's not a reason to panic and do, but you know, it's also not a good sign. And look how close they are right now. So be careful with that tomorrow. Something you want to watch tomorrow. If you want to stay bullish, you want this 21 EMA to stay above, and eventually the 8 EMA will make its way back up. In the very scenario, we will be having this yellow line, this 21 EMA below the 50, which just gotta be careful. Don't go crazy. Don't think that bounces are going to happen super fast, because sometimes those things are very important. Okay, well, that's just pretty much a long picture on QQQ. Short the time frame a little bit. I'm going to use my trend line, the one that I draw as support. So it's about 376.82. QQQ is right now trading right there, even after hours. It's just right there. It's pretty much the same price that it closed. So we close barely below. You see that little wick? Can even barely see it, but we are barely below this line. So let's see. Maybe they will hold. Otherwise, for QQQ, I think we're either gonna make a new support between 376.82, 369.80, or we're just gonna retest this low and maybe double bottom and go from there. Assuming that we open above that 376.82, I'm going to be looking at that level for my support. We also should be drawing a pivot point to know where we are. For that, I'm going to use my spreadsheet and I'm going to draw today's low of 376.70. I'm going to do today's high of 389.19. Say 376.66. We're gonna have for close of 377.66. We're gonna get a pivot point at 381.17. This is going to be our pivot point, and that pivot point work as support. It work as resistance here. So I want to use this level that was okay. So this is when we were consolidating before the drop. It was also the ADMA on this shorter time frame. So I will be watching these three levels for tomorrow. 382.91, 379.54 pivot point, 376.82. If we open somewhere here, I'm gonna be looking at calls or reversals put above 379.54, and we're gonna watch this support. I think this one is gonna be a good one. So, I mean, if you have long positions, that could be your lifesaver. So those are the main three that I have for QQQ. If you guys want to write them down, so you can do 382.91 as a second resistance, 379.54 as a first resistance, and 376.82 support. We could open below that. If we open below that, we're gonna have to figure out new levels tomorrow, because this is also my trend line. We could go on a shorter time frame and see. I guess we can use this one. So that is 375.43. Okay, that's good, because that could give us a little more room in case we open below this one. So you would watch those for 382.91, 379.54, 376.82, and 375.43 for QQQ. Now let's do SPY. So on the long, similar time frame. Now we keep SPY. Well, some banks have been stronger, and also SPY has transportations like airlines, and they've been a little stronger. That's why SPY, if you see QQQ here, we made a new low comparing to the last year's low. SPY, no, SPY still is in a higher low. So SPY looks a little better than QQQ. If we go on a shorter time frame for tomorrow, we have 473.09 resistance. And we're currently below the pivot point at 466.95. We did use it as support today and eventually just flush it. So what I'm gonna look tomorrow is 462.27 support. We're not too far from there. SPY is actually down pre-market, so we could pre-market no after hours, a little down. I would say like 0.08%. So we will be watching this 462.27. And we're gonna watch 466.95, basically 467. So if the SPY breaks 467, solid green candle in the 5 or 15 minutes, you could possibly play some calls. And we're also going to be watching, I like to see this one here instead. I like this high. There's a lot of moving average crossing here, so I'm gonna keep this one instead. 469.23. Man, it's might be hard to get here, but SPY moved 12 points yesterday, no, the day before. So it's not, it could happen. Let's check the EMAs on the longer time frame if they're close on QQQ. So you see a SPY chart is a little healthier. What we did have the 8 just going below the 21, which is not good. It happened in December. He recovered fast. So, I mean, we're at 460. We're below the 50 MA. So, I mean, I think unless something really bad happens, I think we should be able to see a bounce or at least try to bounce. But it's not as a dead cat bounce because, I mean, historically they hold pretty good. But again, let's see. This is all speculation right now. For SPY then, we're going to watch the 469.23, 466.95. We still can do that 467. And we're gonna watch 462.27. All right. Do you guys have any questions before I go with the other two? Can chat it out real quick. SPY, QQQ, questions. You're fine. You're gonna make $1,000 tomorrow. Cool.
Yes.
You have a question or you're good?
No, I want to make $1,000 tomorrow.
Okay. You better.
Let's do it.
SPX. That's it. Okay. Did Kian do Tesla?
No.
All right, let's do
I
Tesla.
have 1140 calls. I just got 99% down.
Good, good, good. So let's see Tesla on a longer time frame. Okay, this is another thing we want to look here. The ADMA is above the 21, but they're getting close. So we definitely want to see this. If we want to stay bullish on Tesla, we basically want to see this line touching and the blue line kind of curving back up. If we stay bearish, this line should be pointing back down once they cross. But I mean, this is kind of you see, last time it went above, it went up from 1,022 to almost 1,200. So that's 180 points. Last time they crossed to the downside, Tesla went from 1067 to 980. Actually, no, 885. Okay, so yeah, you definitely want to keep an eye on that. Yeah, don't worry about cyber trucks. They also say they had 87% up in deliveries from year to day, and they didn't go up as expected. So let's just look at the chart tomorrow. Okay, cool. So I want to look here. I want to see this. This is very important. I also want to see this support here. 1020 and 29 short term from January 6th. I see this double top here. 115, 56, you see? 2 days in a row. We top it yesterday, we top it today. Couldn't go above. And if I am not wrong, we had it almost the same on December 27. We barely went up that level on December 28 and then came back down. Took a very fat green candle, a very good day to break that level. So keep an eye on 1115.56. Or you can just do 1116 if you don't wanna be dealing with decimals. Let's do a shorter time frame. I'm going to keep this support. This is going to be my support tomorrow, 1029. For tomorrow's resistance, I see something here. You guys see? Thursday, 8 in the morning down. Thursday, 9:30 in the morning down. Went up a little bit. Friday, last Friday, 7 in the morning down. Tuesday, 7 in the morning down. Tuesday, 8:30 in the morning down. We broke it strong. Then we use it as support too for a little bit in this candle here. We used it as support. So it's going to be my resistance, 1075.42. And I am confident that we are going to open between this range. Tesla is trading right now at 125.26. Actually, okay, well, the support might be invalid tomorrow. So in case we open below that level, let's do this. We're gonna watch 1075.42 for resistance. We're gonna watch 1020.29 for support. If we open below, we're gonna watch 1005.38. It's gonna be a very risky entry, but that's what we're going to watch. So write those three. Kian says he's ready to blow his other account tomorrow. Okay, so don't follow Kian's alert then. And let's do the last one. You know what? Which one you guys want to do for last? I was gonna do TSM. Don't look at PayPal.
Nvidia, please.
Nvidia, okay. I have two people asking for Nvidia, so let's do Nvidia. We may do Disney too, since I feel that's okay. So yeah, we can do it. We can do. It's okay. Let's do Nvidia and Disney. Actually, we do here. This is the only reason PayPal. Real quick, PayPal. It's a mess, dude. You don't. It's very messy. 197.70, 179.01. It's been a mess, and the main reason why I don't like PayPal right now is because of this widow. Look. Again, you guys probably think I'm annoying with the EMAs, but they're very helpful. And I'm gonna show you why, because our BIAC play that we're up 44%, that's an A21 crossover on a daily chart. That's why these things matter, because we waited for that to happen. Once it happened, we got in and think it's been going up almost every day. We look at PayPal here, you see? The moving average, the 8 is below the 21 on the 1-day chart, 1 year, 1 day. We kiss it pretty much and we couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. They get weirder, and look at PayPal now. PayPal is at 181 right now. So I will just watch 179.01 and 185.04. For PayPal, just watch these two. If I show you something that you may want to pay attention, is here. Since September 17, we have been below this and can never make it back. We almost make it back on October 19. But PayPal, it's been going down and now it's in this channel. So it's either bounce here, you see big. Sorry about that. Big, almost a triple top at the 179, 177 level. So that's not bad, but it's been hard. It's been hard for it to push and the market's not too hot. So I would just pretty much look at that support and I don't think the A and the 21 are gonna cross. Whenever A and the 21 cross, let me know because I'm gonna load calls right away. Yeah, it's very bad consolidation, very tough. Very tough since almost a month and a half already. Since December 1st. To Nvidia, we're clear this. Nvidia on the daily chart. How are the EMAs? That's the first thing we should look. So kind of similar than QQQ, very similar chart. The 8 EMA is below the 50 and the 21, and the 21 and the 50 are kissing. So if the 50 goes above, we'll get a little ugly for Nvidia. A lot of selling volume too. Low volume this week for a lot of things. Compare last half of December, beginning of the new year. Not the greatest volume. Today was the third day of the year when it comes to volume. Actually, a second. We had the second biggest volume, but it was all selling. 96% selling in the last bar. Yeah, so that's not the Nvidia is down 5%. It's 265. Okay, that's not good. See here, 313, which is gonna be useless for us. We're not expecting Nvidia to go above 313 tomorrow. Maybe not anytime soon. But I wanna see 2 daily candles with almost the same high. One is at 286 pretty much and 284. So we can do 285.93. I did have this 269.86. It was a strong support. We're below that. So this one, we can test it as resistance. Don't just think it's resistance, but keep it in mind and use it as a possible resistance. 256.45. Low from last week. Shorter time frame. What do we have? I want to see the EMAs. When was the 50 EMA? 50 EMA, so we're below, so EMAs are not gonna help me here. But I figured out a support. What we can do is we can try a Fibonacci and see if we get something. Because I wanna get something between these 264 and 256. Draw if we need 3 points. $58.02. I'm not liking it as much. Let's see. Could try a shorter time frame because I wanna find another support here. Nvidia is pretty much the same price after hours. And to let myself, I'm gonna trust in myself and everything that I learned, and I'm gonna use this 263.35 as support. And at first, I'm gonna let it test. If it tests and holds, I will eventually draw my own line here. But I'm gonna have that. You can have it as a right as support. Just understand it's not a confirmed support, it's more like a Fibonacci. So make sure you know that. Okay, so Nvidia basically, we also have another support here. We are below it too. 465.74. We close right there. We close right at support. 465.69. So basically for Nvidia, I want to see 263.35 for puts or support, and 269.86 or 270 if you want to make it easier. We can do that for resistance. And also keep in mind the 2773. Could not be as important, but just keep it in mind. Just doesn't cost you anything. So those two basically. And let's do our last one, Disney. Disney doesn't look good. Also looks like a little consolidation here. Well, we did have this, the 8 crossing the 21, which is not bad. We had the 8 EMA trying to cross the 50, but it couldn't, so it's pointing down right now, which we may see more downside tomorrow. And we closed at a very important point because we closed pretty much where the 21 EMA is. We're using that support here on this daily candle. This candle is a whole day. So 155.14 could be a support. If we open below that tomorrow, use 553.70. I don't think we're gonna open below 153.70, especially if this has been moving. 160.47. That will resistance to watch. I don't think we're gonna be there tomorrow though. Other than that, you could use this double one here, double top, 159.37. Or you can use these ones. A lot of candles got stop here, so maybe it's also one standard deviation above. So I will use 155.14 and 158.22 for Disney, but something for you guys and for me and for Kian too. Not because it's 0 DT means that you have to buy 0 DT on everything. If you're not sure, if you are confused, if you market is very slow, you can always look at the next week, SPY or QQQ or SPX. You can even look for Monday expiration. This doesn't mean you have to hold them. This means that if something happens that the contract doesn't go your way, or it's consolidating, that means that, especially in the middle of the day, when they're getting closer to expiration, that means that your contract value is going to hold better if it either consolidates or if it goes against you. Downside is that if it works as you thought or as you wanted, you are not going to make as much, but also if you find a good contract, you could make a good amount. It's just less volatile, but it could be helpful. Like for example, cheap tickers like, I don't know, AMD, Disney. Well, you should always, you're not confident again. If you want to do it for 0 DT, do it. But you can always look at the next week expiration. You can do it for QQQ or SPY too. If it's 10 in the morning and market's super slow and we're moving within $1 range like yesterday, maybe you want to look for Monday, even Wednesday expiration, just to protect yourself from the decay. Again, you don't have to, doesn't mean you have to hold it on the weekend. Just buy yourself a little insurance there. All righty. I think we're good. All right.
Yep. That was good. All right. Levels are gonna be posted and we should be ready for blowing our whole account tomorrow. Just kidding. Good stuff. All right, this
Yeah.
is recorded.
guys.
And no worries. I will upload this. I think I'm gonna upload on YouTube because the file might be too big to put on Discord. So I'm gonna upload on YouTube first, and then it'll be in the Discord. Well, thanks for participating and joining us tonight. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
No worries.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank
What the-
Bye-bye.